Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, 2021 Elimination Chamber preview coming to WWE Network. The final show on the WWE Network as we know it tomorrow. Next month, Fastlane will be the first one on Peacock. That's going to be fun. Every show is going to be on Peacock. As we know, the NBC network who owns Peacock spent $1 billion to buy the network content. NBC owns USA, NBC rivals to Fox. This could be fun. So, first match, we have a number one contender for the Universal title later in the night Elimination Chamber match. So, one of these 6 guys will go on to the main event to face Roman Reigns for the Universal title. We have Jey Uso, the cousin of the great one, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, versus Kevin Owens, versus King Corbin, versus Sami Zayn, versus Cesaro, versus Daniel Bryan. Okay. There is no way in hell Sami Zayn and King Corbin are winning this match, in my opinion. Watch one of them win now. But no, I don't think there's a way. I don't think you do Jey Uso. I think the only possibility of winning this would be Kevin Owens, but then again, it's a straight up match. Kevin Owens lost a TLC match, lost a steel cage match, lost the last man standing match to Roman Reigns. So why would you put him in a straight, no gimmick match and have him win? That makes no sense. You have him win one of those matches, have him win it, funky, and then move on. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, to me, are the only 2 that can win this. And I'm picking Daniel Bryan to win. Next up, we have the triple threat match for the WWE United States Championship. We have champion Bobby Lashley versus Keith Lee versus Riddle. Riddle and Keith Lee have history. They were a tag team in Evolve. They've had a lot of great singles matches. Now, this is the longest reign for any U.S. champion at 172 days, is what Bobby Lashley is at, since Sheamus in May of 2014 at 182. Before that was Dean Ambrose at 351. So for the last 7 years, no one's held the title this long for the U.S. title. It's been a piece of candy flipping around about every month or 2. Bobby Lashley is too dominant, too strong to get pinned. So what I think they do here is I could see Keith Lee versus Riddle, and Keith Lee pinning Riddle to win the title. So I'm going to pick Keith Lee to become your new United States Champion, but I won't be shocked if Lashley retains. Next up, we have the WWE Women's Tag Titles on the line. We have champion Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. As we know, this was supposed to have been the Raw Women's title. Lacey announcing that she's pregnant on Raw this week. If you watched that match, I didn't watch it live. I watched it later, so I already knew. But how many times do you see on a tag match that when the person's in the ring, so in this case Peyton Royce, and she's down on the outside or down on the other side of the ring, whoever she's facing, in this case Charlotte Flair, runs over and knocks that person off the ringside. No one touched Lacey. Everybody knew. When she announced it, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's how you announce this shit? And you make it actually, the way it was announced, I watched Raw later, it looked like it's Ric Flair's. I mean, the way I'm pregnant, next to Ric Flair, and Ric Flair starts strutting, woo, woo, woo. I'm like, okay, well, are we really going to play that storyline up? Whatever. But, what makes this really intriguing, Bianca Belair won the Women's Royal Rumble. More than likely, she's facing Sasha Banks at Mania. What do you do? What does WWE like to do with this kind of stuff? Let's put the tag titles on them. We have Fastlane next month on Peacock. Bianca Belair coming off a Royal Rumble win. Okay. Sasha Banks, she's becoming mainstream. She's on The Mandalorian. She was on Fox on Daytona 500 as the honorary starter. She waved the green flag. It was WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks on Fox. Peacock is owned by NBC. You put a title on her. Her and Bianca go to Fastlane. They lose the titles of Fastlane. They announce the match at Mania. I say Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair become Women's Tag Team Champions, and they face each other at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title. Next up, WWE Championship in the Elimination Chamber. Drew is man enough to put his title on the line in Chamber, unlike Roman Reigns. So we have Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship versus AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy versus Randall Keith Orton versus Sheamus versus Kofi Kingston. We had a six-way gauntlet match on Raw. The winner of the gauntlet match was it was coming out of the chamber last. Sheamus pinned Drew McIntyre. Ooh, so Sheamus is the last one to enter the chamber match. So, Sheamus is the last one to enter the chamber. Sheamus and McIntyre used to be best friends until Sheamus broke-kicked McIntyre. McIntyre told Sheamus he gets a one-on-one match. Adam Pearce made this match, so Sheamus thinks McIntyre chickened out. People, am I the only one who thinks that McIntyre wins this? That we get Sheamus versus McIntyre at Mania? Because that's going to be Sheamus. I pinned the champion. I should get a title match. Let's do it at WrestleMania. Not a bad match. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. I'm down with that. I'm all good with that. No big deal. Now we have the WWE Universal title on the line. We have champion Roman Reigns versus the winner of the Elimination Chamber. My pick is either Daniel Bryan and or Cesaro. Roman Reigns wins that. As we saw, initially I thought that Edge would go on to face the NXT champion Finn Balor. Well, at the last Takeover Vengeance Day, we had Balor versus Pete Dunne. We had them two face-to-face on NXT. We had Edge out there. Ooh, this looks good. But at the end of Vengeance Day, we had Adam Cole come out in the Undisputed Era, helping Finn Balor against Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. We had Adam Cole super kicking Finn Balor, super kicking Kyle O'Reilly. So if the NXT title is on the line at WrestleMania, it would be some version of that. At this point in time, I do not feel like they're going to do anything with Edge beyond Roman Reigns. Edge, the ultimate opportunist, who is going to not announce what he's going to do until it's best for him, letting Roman Reigns not be the, in the know like he wants. He's the head of the table. Everything goes through him. He doesn't know what's going to happen. So we end up with Edge and Roman Reigns at Mania for the Universal title. I mean, initially, one of the rumors that I had heard and something I'd liked was possible triple threat. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Maybe put The Rock in as a special referee or something. And then next year at Dallas, when we have full stadium of fans, doing Rock versus Reigns, which is probably what we're waiting for. I have a feeling 2 years from now in Hollywood, LA, we do Reigns versus Cena. I think that's going to happen there. Or even, unless they wait to do Rock and Cena, or do Rock and Reigns at that one and do Cena and Rock next year, I don't know. But I think this is all building, the whole head of the table, all this is building to Roman Reigns versus The Rock. We all know that. Dallas would be the place to do it, I would think, at this point. So, more than likely, we have a Mania match of Roman Reigns versus Edge. So, in Roman Reigns' WrestleMania history, he had, in WrestleMania 29 and 30, he was 6-man tags with the Shield. 31, a triple threat with Rollins and Lesnar. He lost. 32 was Reigns versus Tripp. He won. 33 was Reigns versus Taker. He won. 34 was Reigns versus Lesnar. He lost. 35 was Reigns versus McIntyre. And he won. You had him beat The Undertaker. You had him beat Triple H. You were basically trying to make him the head of the table, and people still fucking boo him. I mean, this is classic John Cena mid-2000s, when you would shove him down our throat to get us to like it. And you had people like me going on YouTube going, John Cena, you know what this means? 3 moves, 0 talent. I learned to like John Cena because he learned to wrestle. He learned to wrestle to the level of his opponent. I still can't stand Roman Reigns. I think of the Shield members, he is the weakest of them. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, obviously better. I like the gimmick that they're doing with this head of the table chief kind of deal. We all know the ending of it. But it's like, come on. You're going to now let him beat Edge at Mania? I mean, come on. What I would hope to see is Edge beat him at Mania. Have Edge get that WrestleMania moment. You know what? He needs it. He deserves it. He's the Hall of Famer. Maybe he's a two-time Hall of Famer. We'll see. But that's going to wrap up the WWE Elimination Chamber preview. Stay tuned to Robert Sports Show for the review. Also, stay tuned to Robert Sports Show for the road to WrestleMania. Lots of stuff we want to do. We got a little speed bump in the middle of that called Fastlane. Otherwise, pro wrestling, NASCAR, right here on Robert Sports Show. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content. Make sure you subscribe below. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Rob Sports Show.